For the administration of Malam Abdulrahman Abdulrazaq in 2019, the education sector in Kwara State was facing significant challenges. The physical structures of schools were in poor conditions, teachers' welfare and salaries were not being paid regularly, and there was a lack of oversight in the education sector. These issues had negative impacts on the learning outcomes of students and the morale of teachers. Public school students were disadvantaged, and the overall quality of education in the state was suffering.
When we came on board in 2019, precisely May 29, 2019, there were a lot of riots in basic education in the state. We met a highly demoralized workforce. Our teachers were taking instrumental payment.
Salary, which has been our right as teachers and principals in the state, has been an amputated salary that has been given to us.
In the old days, in the bad old days, when it was the half salary, the morale of teachers were at the lowest ebb. Honestly, on salary days, it was always pains for teachers.
Traditionally, they give them salaries in percentage, 50%, 10%, sometimes they even give them 5%. No promotion for our teachers for more than 6 years. The last so-called promotion that was held at Kwara State then was 2016 promotion. And of course that 2016 promotion was also selective. Selective in the sense that it was politicized to the extent that only people that are loyal to them were promoted.
We don't have a single system in this commission. It's computer system to type any single. There is no computer system in this commission. That when we go around the offices, the staff files were always outside. Rain fell, if rain fell, there were no glasses in the windows. The rain will splash inside and it will affect the files. Some of the files were even mutilated. At early 2020 that was in this office, there wasn't resting room for teachers and the staff of this headquarters. That period, if any of them is pressed, they will run to High Court here, or some of them run to Kwara Hotel, and they will be chasing them. These are the Kwara State Education Service staff. Let them go away, go away. They do not allow us to use their resting rooms.
So you had a situation whereby in 2018-2019, for instance, people were hired without basic qualifications. As teachers, you had people who were teaching in junior secondary school, yet they didn't have 5 O-level credit themselves. And they were teaching in secondary school. How did it happen? People were just given employment letter in their rooms, at the ward level, at the ward political meetings.
Before the coming of the present government, we did not have it so good, particularly in our school. All the structures in the school had become dilapidated.
When he came on board, he met the education sector in a state of moribund. And he indeed made his promise that he's going to see to education to improve the situation of teaching and learning in the state.
We know that we have 4 state-owned colleges of education. We have one in Oru, another one in Lafiaji, we have one in Ilorin, and we have College of Arabic and Islamic Legal Studies in Ilorin. Before the inception of this administration, the 4 of them were under locks and keys for non-payment of salaries, in some instances between 7 to 14 months.
We met on ground tertiary institutions that lack some infrastructural facilities. We are here to meet some institutions that are not duly accredited, and some cases where we have accreditation already granted, some of them were revoked.
Malam Abdulrahman Abdulrazaq inspected parts of the state immediately after he was sworn in as the executive governor of Kwara State. This was done to have a first-hand observation of the status quo in the education sector and other sectors of the state's economy. As a result of the inadequacies ascertained in the educational sector, he, however, made education his topmost priority.
Talking about education, let us take it for supreme and the ministry. You can see the outlook of most schools from comprehensive renovation to at least some selected renovation. I think it's a departure for the ugly yesterday.
Previous administration stole the counterpart fund of over 1 billion naira. They paid in their own. The UBEC added its own. Later on along the line, they withdrew their own from the bank and also spent that of the UBEC money without using it to improve basic education in the state. That singular factor was responsible for blacklisting the Kwara State for long years. It spoiled the relationship between Kwara Subeb and the Universal Basic Education Board. The basic education in the state suffers significantly from that illicit act of the previous administration.
So what His Excellency did when, as soon as he was sworn in, was to clear the backlog. They had over 7 months backlog of salaries that were being owed the colleges of education in Oro, Lafiagi, and Ilorin here. So he paid those monies, he cleared them, because even the teachers were on strike at the time. So he cleared that for us. Next was to ensure that accreditation that were being owed and the programs that hadn't been accredited were also paid for. So that was done.
Governor Abdulrahman came in, and the first thing he did is to effect the promotion of all teachers. Irrespective of how many years, once you qualify to be promoted, everybody is given promotion letter. You see, this backlog of promotion exercise, he did it in such a way that almost everybody is happy about it. That I've spent so years, I'm still on the same level, but it came to me after a thorough written exam exercise and interview.
If you are going to employ a physics teacher, you employ a physics teacher. You will not go looking for a mathematics teacher to come and fit into, just because you know people. No, that's not it. We sit down to look at what is appropriate for everybody. The interview is conducted, and then you look at the versatility of people. You know, there are some people that are just not put out for teaching. They know it, but they can't even pass they can't pass the knowledge. So all of those things are looked into before you can say somebody is a teacher. And then there are qualifications. You have to have a basic knowledge of teaching. There are people that are not put out for teaching. You must have a national certificate of education. You have at least an NC before you are recruited. To make sure we don't bring just anybody in. The teaching profession is supposed to be a professional thing. If you recruit, you see, what you start is what you will end up with. If you recruit people who are not able to teach, they will not just teach well. So in order to avoid that, you start from the beginning, from the recruitment process, to ensure that what we have, those on board can perform. We need performance. That is key. This administration needs performance. That is very key to this administration. And that is why we are going through all the trouble.
His observation and critical analysis of the education sector after he was sworn in as the executive governor of Kwara State led to a series of drastic but positive decisions. Under the leadership of Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazaq, there has been a comprehensive renovation and improvement of educational facilities at all levels. Both physical and non-physical infrastructures have been provided to enhance the learning environment and improve the overall quality of education in the state. In August 2021, the Kwara State government hosted a first-of-its-kind summit, the Kwara Education Futures. This summit engaged the public and private sector education leaders, thinkers, and relevant stakeholders across the nation to discuss and profile solutions to the declining condition of education in the state. The Kwara Education Future Summit, however, gave rise to the Kwara Education Transformation Agenda, QETA, which aims to address the declining state of the educational system in the state by leveraging on public-private partnerships while functioning under 5 defined pillars. The pillars of QETA addresses the major problems contributing to the literacy decline in Kwara State and will provide solutions in all areas relating to early childhood, primary school, secondary school, vocational, tertiary, and continuous adult education.
One of his laudable achievements in Kwara State Polytechnic is the completion of the 2,000 capacity auditorium named after Mohammed Alabi Lawal, who happens to be the initiator of the project. The project has been on for more than 15 years. But Malam Abdulrahman Abdulrazaq paid the loan, owned the contractor, and completed the project. The completion of 1,000 bed space hostel in the first roundabout. The hostel foundation was laid by Pam Oga, military administrator of Kwara State, in I think around 1997 or 96 thereabout.
The government of Kwara State was able to pay a huge sum of money disbursed to all our institutions to ensure that they have all their courses. We have all our courses accredited. Not just accredited, we have not even partial now or interim accreditation. We have full accreditation across all our institutions. And recently, I can also report here that the Kwara State University, Malete, Kwasu, had approval for about almost 15 or 17 courses, including MBBS, and this is something that was celebrated, not just in the States, countrywide and globally. And today, to God be the glory, that program will commence in the session that we're entering in January. I'm telling the whole world today that Kwasu, by the grace of God, is commencing program of MBBS, that's medicine and surgery, and as well as some other medical related courses. So we have the kind of investment that the Excellency has made in the areas of accreditation, and this cut across all our institutions.
Coming up of the Kwara Poly radio, that is 88.5 FM. That enhances the training of our mass communication students, and it also enhanced approval of our HND program. I want to make it known that we have about 7 sets of ND students that usually have challenge in getting admission into other tertiary institutions for HND mass communication, because those institutions also have their own products and they will give preference to their own products to any other product from other institutions. So I want to say the accreditation of HND mass communication department or mass communication program is a big plus to the administration of our visitor.
When we came on board in 2019, we restored our relationship with Lübeck by paying back 450 million naira back to Lübeck. We then invested 7.1 billion naira, and with that we got a matching grant of 7.1 billion naira from Lübeck, making 14.2 billion naira. And when you go to every part of Kwara, the facts speak for themselves. You can see the new structures coming up. school infrastructure coming up. You have facilities that were either not available, toilet and all of these things. You have them in several parts of the state. So you don't need anyone to even tell you, you don't need me to tell you that what are we doing in terms of education infrastructure. You only need to visit every ward in Kwara State.
From that grant, Counterpart Fund, we constructed a total of a block of 2 classrooms in 116 locations, a block of 3 classrooms in 64 locations, a block of 4 classrooms in 61 locations, and remodeled 1,335 classrooms across the 16 local government areas of the state. We also did comprehensive remodeling. What does that comprehensive remodeling mean? We get to a school, from the gate to the toilet, to the classrooms, to the laboratory, to the offices, everything were renovated and remodeled, repaired to standard. So that is the concept of our comprehensive remodeling, and that happened in 24 schools across the state. We also had digital literacy centers in 39 locations. Digital literacy centers in 39 locations. And from that, we were able to provide 29,005 student furnitures and 7,474 teachers' furniture. In addition with this, we were able to get 5 operational vehicles, equipment for quality assurance, a department to ensure that they are up to date in the department or directorate. We procured 45 Bajaj Okada motorcycles in order to ensure adequate and prompt monitoring of our teachers, especially in the internet.
There was also an approval to increase the token sum of 5,000 naira to 10,000 naira per student as a bursary award. But this is the government of the students who went all out to ensure that all our students, particularly those in the far north, return back to their campuses on a free ride transportation arrangement. This is the courtesy of Our Excellency Madam Abdulrahman Abdulrazaq.
Equipment worth more than 5 million was brought to this school through the Ministry of Education and Human Capital Development for the visually impaired, braille, Amaphone, all the computers needed for the visually impaired was brought to this school, was purchased. His Excellency has gone far to give us solar light. This solar light is functioning well. A block of 3 classrooms was even renovated for that purpose also, because there is no light here in Oyo and Akpata Yakuba area. You see, when you are in the population of the school is about 500, and the 87% of the total population we are hearing impaired. Without light, there is no communication between the deaf and the so-called normal, even between themselves. Because when you come in the night, you don't give them light, they will not be able to communicate. They will not be able to do the prep in the night. And the student can stay in the class until 10 p.m., not as before, when there is no light.
The workforce has improved. It has improved tremendously. One, maybe because they know that this administration will not take capacity. So everybody is on their toes. They're not doing it, it's not business as usual. Like before, some people just go to work and they will not teach. I know several people, or I knew several people who just will not be bothered. They will just go there and mark register. But that is no more.
In the process of monitoring, we came on board and we feel like to go around ourselves as a member, as a board member. So that seeing is believing. We should go and have an interview discussion with the teachers in the field and the students as well. During that period, we discovered that some teachers do not come to school. I was okay. What are the possible solutions for us to use to make sure that they are punctual and they do their work as expected? We now come with the introduction of clearance. that since principals are seen as a toothless dog, they can't bite. What do we do? Unlike those days that it was a table payment, that if you don't go to school, they will say, do not pay. This one, wherever you are, you go to school or not, the salary at the end of the month, the e-payment has also caused a little disruption to teaching education system. Like whether you go to school or not, they will just flash your account and you will see your cash. We now introduce, that makes us to introduce signing of clearance at the end of the month by the teachers. If you are not in the school, the principal should not allow such teacher to sign clearance. And with that, we were also able to discover ghost workers.
Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazaq and his administration place a high priority on education and believe that improving the foundation of basic education is key to long-term success. One of the key programs under the Kwara Education Transformation Agenda is the Kwara Education Trust Fund. The Trust Fund Bill, which was signed into law by His Excellency on the 14th of October 2021, will supplement the finances of the education sector by creating a legal framework for philanthropists, corporate organizations, donors, and enterprises to support, maintain, and modernize the condition of primary and secondary school buildings and infrastructure in the state. In 2022, the Kwara State Governor introduced the Kwara Learn Initiative, which aims to transform the basic education system from a local and analog approach to a digital learning system and to improve teaching and learning outcomes through the implementation of new teaching methods in public schools.
We had digital technology which was deployed into our classrooms. But we didn't just put this into the classrooms. Before this happened, we had to go around these local governments. We had to hold stakeholders engagement. We had to feel the pulse of the people. Okay, this is coming to your communities. This is what it's going to do to your communities. So let us hear from you. What is the state of your classrooms now? Do you have enough teachers? Where they had shortages, they let us know so that the government would know what to do before even deploying this. Then we had to take the teachers through a rigorous training to ensure that they also knew how to handle the tablets that will be given to them, which they will be using in their different classrooms.
It's like a kind of revolutionized education system now. And by the special grace of God, we are going to step it down to the pupils level.
We have to prepare for the lesson plan, then how to motivate these children by not using corporal punishments, all this, so it will improve the learning of these pupils.
It will help them greatly because a new innovation has been introduced to teaching and learning. We will not be dealing with lesson plan again. We will be using our tablet given to us by the governor and the smartphone. We were given smartphone and tablets to be using for our pupils.
The returns he's getting from investing in this program is the joy and the smiles it puts on the faces of the pupils, and at the end of this, seeing them being better versions of themselves before the program came on board. There are a lot of other things across the program. We monitor teachers' presence in schools. We monitor whether they actually take lessons. So for every lesson a teacher takes, say for example, you're supposed to take 8 subjects in a day or 8 lessons in a day, we can actually know if the teachers have taken the lessons at all, or even if they were able to complete the lessons. So if they didn't complete the lesson, if they end up not completing their lessons, we can actually get this, we can actually track this on the device. So it's a full package, it's a full-on package where everything that is done across board can be monitored, and parents can know that, real value for being indigenes of Kwara State. 2021-2022 ended with 47,859 pupils, and we went on an enrollment drive to ensure that more pupils are added onto the program. At the end of the enrollment drive, the first which we had in the month of August, we've added 11,127 pupils to the Kwara Learn program, and right now, as we speak, the Kwara Learn pupils under the program have moved from 47,859 to 58,986 within a short period.
This program represents a significant effort
to improve the quality of education in Kwara State and enhance the teaching and learning experience for both teachers and students.
Of course, this investment has started yielding results for us, especially when we look at the performance of our pupils at the national and international level. This year, December, the Lucky Six, we call them Lucky Six, 6 pupils that represented Kwara State in the last presidential school debate. They came first after beating several other states at the last presidential school debate that was held in Lagos. They came first, and of course that gave them the ticket that made them to represent Nigeria in the Dubai International Debate Championship. These children also came second at that competition. And you see, I want to put it on record that Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazaq has given these Lucky Six. I call them Lucky Six because they are so fortunate indeed. And of course, they are excellent children. The Lucky Six are on scholarship up to university level. The governor also gave them cash donations to running into millions, and also supported their parents and teachers with a lot of money as a result of the wonderful performance of these children.
When he came on board, he employed 2,000 teachers for TESCOM and 2,007 teachers, 702 teachers in Subeb, that making up to 4,007 teachers for the 2 sectors, which honestly was done in a transparent way, a way we have never witnessed before in Kwara State.
We have continued to see the impact of that in terms of the performance of the newly recruited staff, because after the recruitment that was based on merit, not on political influence or influence of any other personality that we used to witness in the past. So this can be verified. After that, the teachers that were qualified, that were employed meritoriously, were even given an induction by an experienced teacher through the programs of ANCOPS. They went on what they are going to meet on the field and how they are going to manage it, both co-curricularly and extracurricular activities.
Teachers in Kwara State are now being recognized and rewarded for their contributions to education. In addition to the usual benefits of being a teacher, special events such as Teachers' Day are being organized as a way of expressing appreciation and acknowledging the efforts of teachers in supporting the transformative agenda for education in the state.
He gave teachers awards. 69 teachers were awarded, and they were given fantastic prizes, deep freezers, flat screen televisions, and even laptops. It was not limited to teachers in primary and secondary school alone. Even teachers in tertiary institutions were also given this gift.
In fact, I'm so overwhelmed today with what the governor did to we, the teachers. I want to appreciate him for his kind gesture. What the teacher in Kwara State generally, we are appreciating him for showing us this kind of love which we've never seen before. We pray for more and more of God in his life. We pray the Lord will continue to uplift him.
I want to appreciate the governor for his kindness towards we teachers. We want to thank him for the gift he gave us. He promised and he fulfilled the promise.
So you can see that in the past, we've never had it good. But in the present administration, we have been having it so good, and the welfareism of teachers is a paramount importance to Our Excellency Malam Abdulrahman Abdulrazaq.
He brought us blessing. He put peace in our mind. We are rest assured of our work. We are rest assured of every day when we retire from school, from teaching service, we know our salary will be coming in as pension and some other thing, because we had the law he has been doing in pension too. When there is a motivation or incentive, you see changes in the attitude of whoever is at work. This is what I think is happening in Kwara State today.
Well, the moment we have a very good, conducive classroom, teaching and learning will take place. I want to appreciate him for that too, because I believe he listens to every complaint or every suggestions from any quarter.